Hey guys, and welcome back to another video and another sneak peek. So today we're taking a look at the first super troop which just came out, which means, well, it's gonna be 4 super troops. I told you guys that already yesterday. And well, today I will explain it more better hopefully than yesterday and how exactly the super troop works, because I think yesterday was more like confusing. Today I have an example so I can show you step by step on how to unlock the super troops and what you can actually do with it. So we have 4 super troops overall. Today is the first one, which means today is going to be the Barbarian. We will show exactly the stats and how obviously you can use them. But for now, we have to take a look at the old Barbarians to actually compare the stats, so we have like a nice picture of how things are going. We take a look and see 38 damage per second, and we have 230 hit points. Those are like kind of the key stats on most of the troops. Obviously, like the resources, which you have to like training costs, etc. But let's take a look at, well, this nice building over here, and let's take a look at what exactly it takes for you to unlock the Super Barbarians. So we jump to the screen because I do not want to spoil obviously like the other 4 troops or like the other 3 troops. And this is how it looks like when you actually want to upgrade them. They kind of like get a new haircut and like the super symbol on their belt, and yeah, it looks pretty cool. And for you guys, if you want to unlock them, you need to be Town Hall 11 or higher. And you can see as well, there's the Dark Elixir, which is like the cost to upgrade the troops. And it is, at least it feels like it, that this is kind of a solution for Supercell to have basically even max players having to like spend resources in the game, even if they are maxed. Because how this works is, if you press the upgrade button, which means like the 50k Dark Elixir, you will have the Super Barbarians for 7 days. After those 7 days, the troops are getting reset, which basically means you could upgrade them like 1 million times basically if you have the time for that, because after the 7 days where you had unlocked the Super Barbarians, you'll have another 7-day cooldown where you can't upgrade them, which means you have to basically choose another super troop if you want to keep going. So after talking about how exactly you can get your hands on them, since you need to be Town 11, like I said, or higher, and what we should do next is let's take a look at the stats in a second. And like I said, it kind of looks as well like in the builder base with the Rage Barbarians kinda. It's kind of similar, to be honest, but at the same time, if we compare the stats, like the damage per second, it's nearly multiplied with 5, which is crazy. Like we remember 38 was the damage per second from a normal Barbarian, and this is like 200, and the old hit points were 230, and the new ones is 1100, which is pretty high. But always remember, guys, always remember those stats might change because, well, it's still the early access build, so we can highlight those things for you guys. But obviously, all of the numbers might still change. This is kind of a disclaimer which I have to put out there. And one important thing as well is the housing space. If you guys consider like, oh my god, this is going to be an OP Barbarian for 1 housing space, no, it's from now on 5, which basically means the only Barbarians you have, because you cannot switch in between of them. That's kind of the downside of this feature, that you cannot switch in between of the normal Barbarians and the Super Barbarians. This is kind of key to remember when unlocking them, because you have no longer any more normal Barbarians, which is important to note. So this is the this is basically how the stats are. So let's now get into the test menu where we can just basically test the new Barbarian out and see how it actually works, like what is the key in behind. And what we should do is just place one Barbarian. There are always grown expos on there, like it's not, obviously it's just like a test base and everything. It's like playground. So yeah, let's place a Barbarian somewhere and see what happens. So he's actually pretty tanky. Like you can see, there's an expo on the Barbarian, and it's crazy. He nearly got down 2 gold mines, and I think this might be the key for the Barbarian to go forward, being a funnel troop. Like this is kind of clutch. Let's test on the level 1. Okay, the level 1 queen wasn't really an opponent for them, right? So what we should try to do next is let's try to just spam them all in. Just try to spam them in, because this I think should show kind of good the balance. And then as soon as we did that on this base, we'll try it on a max turn of 13 and see how it works over there, right? So don't be stressed out if this works. We will still test if it's working on a real base. So for now, let's just jump into the Eagle, I guess. One test, not Warbreaker, but one test Barbarian if there are any giant bombs. And then just like spam and pray them in, right? That's how you do it. I will just delay a couple of them. Maybe I will need them somewhere. We will use the heal spells, obviously. I feel like rages are kind of useless, even though later on they're kind of nice because the rage only lasts for 8 seconds. And if you guys are wondering how exactly does this work with like 2 rages, like can you rage the rage Barbarians? That's not really possible. Like Barbarians will always take the better rage basically, but not adding them up. So this is kind of important to note. And you can see how tanky they are. Like even if the rage is running out, they are so freaking tanky. So let's drop a couple of more Barbarians in there. And this should be actually the triple. But either way, like I said, we will test 100% that on our own once again in a second. Because, well, this was just the playing ground. Like, so this was not a real test for them. But it's kind of fun to see that they're actually pretty strong. And not like just like a fun troop in that sense. So you can actually consider using them, especially on Town 11 where the defenses are not too strong. On Town 13 it becomes a bit harder, but I will show you guys, like I said, in a second. Last couple of seconds of this attack, the Barbarians are getting through the wall finally and getting the last building done, which means this is gonna be the finish line for this party. And like I said, what we should do right now is let's get started with the attack on a real Town of 13 and see how that works. So we upgraded the Barbarians and this is how it looks like. You can see the timer running down as soon as you activate them. Like I said, 7 freaking days. And now you can see all the Barbarians running into and coming out again as Super Barbarians. It looks pretty cool, I have to say that. It looks pretty dope. So what we should do right now, since we trained like an all Barbarian army, we should try to do it in on like a FC, right? So one thing to remember as well, you can donate all of them in your clan castle as well, which means I want to ask you guys, how will you guys try to use them? What is like your first idea on how to use them? Is it going to be, I don't know, is it going to be in the clan castle somehow, in the slammer, in, I don't know, like a blimp, whatever? Is it somehow for funneling? Is it as a main army? Let me guys know what you guys would try or would love to try first as soon as you're getting your hands on the new Barbarians. Or, well, what is, like, how do you think, or what do you think is, well, not worth it to try, basically. So, this is just the army. Let's try to go in, even though we don't have the entire clan cast. It doesn't really matter. It's just for showcasing of the Barbarians anyway. And what we try to do, like, normally those bases are kind of nice for the Yeti Smash, for example. So, if I think, if I would have to compare it to some other strategies which are already existing, if you're spamming it in, it feels kind of like, I don't know, how to say, it feels kind of like a P.E.K.K.A, Yeti Smash, True, whatever. But what I feel like could work as well is something like a Kill Squad, because they do not live too long, but at the same time they're kind of explosive with the 8-second rage. So maybe that's an option. Either way, we're trying to get here in, using the King as funnel, using the Ward and everything, making sure that it's on ground. And basically we're just spamming the troops in, like, I don't really know. Like, I just want to highlight if the troop is completely broken, or if you guys are like wrong, since I saw so many comments on, yeah, the new super troops will completely mess up the balance and everything. So yeah, the clan cast is coming out, and this is not even like an entire full clan cast. So those are just 2 ice golems. And yeah, we just send the slammer somewhere since the queen is tanked, which means like should be more freedom for our slammer to try to do some things. And like I said, you can see they're getting healed basically non-stop, but as soon as the rage is like running out, especially on turn 13, it feels like they're getting so much weaker, and they're losing like the speed, but at the same time you do not have the spell capacity to invest any rages. So it's kind of tricky. And like I said, I think the only way right now on how I can see them working is, like I said, like a funnel troop or like a kill squad, because I think in those really explosive short fights like a kill squad it is, I feel like they're kind of powerful. So this might be an option, but let's see. Like I said, kind of interesting for me what you guys think, or like what you guys come up with on how to use those nice guys. So this is kind of the idea behind that. I like the idea of the super troops. said that already yesterday. I feel like the balance is not too bad or anything. Like, they're kind of nice to use. They're bringing something new to the game, even though it's already Barbarian in the game. It is still like it feels kind of like a new troop, because like the housing space changed, the ability changed, the identity basically changed of the troop. But at the same time, I feel like they're not like super OP or anything. They're kind of nice to use, but that's it. So looking forward to the next couple of troops. If you guys want to see them and make sure that well, you know how to use them, make sure to follow this channel to get all of the next informations for the next sneak peeks, and well, obviously the update as soon as it's live. I will showcase everything, and well, that's it for this sneak peek. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, let me guys know what you think about the Super Barbarians. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you back tomorrow for another video. Until then, see you guys, and bye bye.